Welcome back, Pio Pack Coaches Show, as we now transition on into cross country. Had them on for the first time last week, guys, and then you turn around and win a conference championship on the women's side, perform well on the men's side. We talked to head coach Keith Woodard and then a couple of his athletes, Emily Thomas and John Roberts. Thanks for coming out and being on the show. And again, filling up the couch, which is always nice when we can get 3 people instead of just a couple. So appreciate it. Tell me, Coach, this weekend you win a cross country championship. Men do pretty well as well. How was it? What were you thinking about your team's performance?
It was an awesome day. Lots of excitement, lots of smiles. All the hard work paid off, and they just raced their hearts out. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Emily, did you feel like it was a championship performance as a team? How did you feel about your individual performance as it was going on?
I was really excited. When I turned around in the finishing chute, I just saw a bunch of orange behind me, and that's like such a great feeling. So I was pretty stoked. I didn't know that right away that we had won or anything, but I was definitely excited, and on my end, I had a good race. I ran pretty well. I was very happy with it.
I'll have you talk a little bit further about that in just a moment.
Okay.
Let's talk about the men's side, too, because this whole year, we've heard nothing but great things about cross country and heading into the conference championships. A lot of optimism. From the men's side, how did you guys do, and how happy were you with your performance?
We were really stoked because Drew came up huge on Saturday. He just put down an amazing race, and even though up front, Willem and we're a little bit out of reach, we are all really happy with how the day went. So.
Yeah, I could imagine you had a lot of optimism when we sat you down here a week ago, and it kind of paid out. What were some of the things that maybe you didn't expect about the weekends that occurred, and now maybe you are hoping for coming into regionals?
Well, there weren't any real big surprises. I have a lot of faith in my runners and what they can accomplish, and they just take care of business. I think Johnny got it correct. Drew was probably the race of the day on the men's side. He came through with 9th place finish as a freshman. He was the #1 freshman finisher on the guys' side. So that's a big accomplishment and really helped us solidify that 3rd place. On the women's side, boy, just right up and down the line, they ran great. Another freshman stepped up. Another Emily made it into 14th, which is an all-conference finish as well. We had 5 in the top 14, so pretty amazing all the way around.
That's a good answer to the question, because if you're not surprised about what happened, probably mean you had a lot of confidence heading in, so that shows in the results. John, in terms of your year so far, just from an individual standpoint, what were some of the things you were hoping to accomplish heading in, and at this point later in the season and now into the postseason kind of stuff? Tell me a little bit about how you feel about yourself and your performances.
Well, I was injured in track this spring, so going into summer training, I kind of had a all or nothing approach to my training, and I said, I still was kind of injured, and I just kept going, and eventually it took care of itself, which is kind of stupid in retrospect. But I mean, to me, this season, right from the get-go, kind of felt like a bonus, just because I had some negative thoughts about it ever happening, and so I mean, overall, I'm just really pumped about how it's turned out so far, and looking forward, I still think there's a lot to be accomplished. So.
Yeah, Emily, what's this team do? Kind of just show us the outline of what's ahead with regionals now that you guys are done with conference.
So not this weekend, but next weekend we have our regional competition, which is in Willamette, and the top 2 teams automatically go, and normally a 3rd team goes as well. So we're looking to be in the mix, definitely, for that.
You mentioned normally the 3rd team goes. Is that kind of a change this year or anything like that? Or?
I mean, I think only the top 2 teams are guaranteed, but then the 3rd
You're
team.
saying that usually the way the selection kind of comes out.
Yeah.
It's an at-large berth for the 3rd place team, but historically they have chosen the 3rd place team out of the West region.
Excellent. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Coach. One thing I want to talk to you about is first off, your award, because you were named Coach of the Year. I want them to tell me a little bit about how meaningful it is to see your coach get honored for what he's been able to do for you. What's that like to see him get that award?
Keith does so much work for us, and is just the best coach I could ever ask for. He always knows the right thing to say at the right time, and just he's here on Sundays, and so I mean he does a lot, and it's really good that he was recognized for that.
You mentioned saying the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of something that happened this year?
Just like maybe before a meet when you're nervous, he has just the right thing to say to kind of like get you pumped up and just ready to race. And if you don't have the best race, I had a few of those last year, and he kind of gets your head straight and ready for the next sprint. So.
John?
Yeah, I mean, it came as no surprise. I mean, I knew he was going to get it one of these days, and it was really cool to see it happen, and he deserves it more than anyone because he's just been, making a lot out of a little. Like, sometimes we're a little limited in numbers on the team, and he's just, like, an amazing coach, so.
Well, it's been a lot of fun talking with you, and I've been so impressed with your student athletes and all the things that they've been able to accomplish from every single sport we've seen so far. And it's fun because this is just the fall portion of it. But I found out this week, too, that one of your former athletes is getting a big honor, too, with what she's accomplished. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Tamma Carlton, who is a 2009 grad and one of our best ever runners here, is working for the Federal Trade Commission back in D.C., but she is a finalist for the Rhodes Scholar now and has been accepted to Leeds University and is applying to Oxford.
Yeah.
And she interviews in a couple weeks, and we'll find out whether she makes that.
Well, that'll be fun. So hopefully we'll find out where we're at with regionals, nationals, you never know, and then kind of go from there. So thanks so much for joining us, and we appreciate your time.
Okay.
All right, go
Thank you.
Keith Woodard, Emily Thomas, and John Roberts joining us as we get set for the Power Punch. Emily's going to stick around and join the soccer girls, and we'll do that next on the Pio Pack Coaches Show.